Okay, gentlemen, video 13, I think 13. Let's talk about something that Money Twitter talks about, something that I think is really important to take into consideration. So, there's an idea that basically goes like this. Instead of focusing on once you reach a certain level, right? Instead of focusing purely on how much money am I making, how much am I making, what's in my bank account, blah, 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 take what you're making and translate it into dollars per hour. And that'll give you a good idea of how efficient you're being. So, to highlight this, I'm going to use my industry, which is insurance, which is as far as all things considered, insurance is probably the best thing that exists as far as time exchange for money, converting to dollars per hour, that whole game. And it's because it's so simple. It's just so simple. There's no barrier to entry at all. It's really not complicated. And the beauty of it, assuming that you're independent, right? I'm not talking about you're an employee at a company, because if you're an employee at a company, they give you a salary and they cut off your head basically. Because if you're salary, then you're not getting renewals and things like that. So there's no point in even trying to sell insurance. It's stupid. But they're doing all your marketing for you, and whatever. So there's a trade-off, but the trade-off isn't worth it, is what I'm saying. So with insurance, I'll use an example, two recent examples that I had. So yesterday, I enrolled a couple, and let's see, I probably spent 45 minutes going back and forth with them on the phone and text and things like that. I had to drive about 15 minutes to go meet them at a food court in a mall. The whole meeting itself took about 40 minutes maybe, and then I had another 20-minute drive to our office to drop it off. So all things considered, it's probably about 2 hours of time, a solid 2 hours of time, I would say. And that will translate to $500. So it's basically $250 an hour, which is great, right? But that's not even the like part. What's nuts is that I may never hear from these people again. And they may just stay on that plan they're on for years. They may stay on it until they die. It's a Medicare plan, by the way. I don't know if it's against HIPAA rules to talk about this, but whatever, I don't care. Fuck HIPAA, fuck the government. But assuming that they do stay on the plan, so after the first year passes, you start getting what's called a renewal, right? Every single month, and it's, it's about $250 divided by 12. So it's about, I don't know. It winds up being like $22 a month or something. So it's beautiful because you upfront that initial time sink, you get well compensated for it. I can't hold my fingers up straight. Jesus. We're going to stop doing that. And then you continue getting compensated for it when it's fantastic, because again, you may never see those people again, or you may have to sit and talk to them on the phone for like 15 minutes a year or whatever, right? It's really not that bad at all. That's most people. That's not all people. And there's another piece of advice, a sound piece of advice, that a lot of people talk about, which is don't ever take clients who will drive you nuts. So I would also recommend that, especially if you're doing Medicare insurance. There's so many old people out there. There are a lot of lonely old people out there. Let me put it that way. And yep, I don't need to go into that one. Anyway, it's great as far as what you're getting compensated for and the time you're putting into it. I would say at whatever point you get to, you would need to hire an assistant, and an assistant can handle most of the process, you know. But anyway, I will contrast. Actually, no, there's another example that I have too. I'd never actually done short term before, short term health insurance, but this woman needed a 2-year plan. She's, what is she, 63? She needed, yeah, she needed the plan for, like 22 months or something. So there's a nice, simple, easy, cheap, easy, quick 2-year plan, and she'll be on it for that time period. Yeah, I spent even less time with that one. That one was probably like a solid hour. And it'll wind up being about $30 a month for 20 months, $600. Wait, is that right? Yeah, that is right. So like $600 for an hour of my time. Like, shit, man, I'll do that all day, you know? It was like the easiest process I've ever done. I was thinking about that. It's literally like just one page. You fill out one page, and it's just like a name, an address, and a bank account info, or a credit card info, or something. It was like the easiest thing ever. That an assistant could literally do the whole process and just like, and that'd be freaking nuts. I don't have the capital to start a business like that, but that'd be a good one, man. I'll tell you what, it's freaking crazy. There are a lot of people out there who are in this situation. There's a common thing that happens with people when they retire. So they'll have their health insurance through their employer. The husband's 4 years older than the wife. When the husband retires, he leaves his employer plan because it basically forces him to get off, and he gets on Medicare. And that's when someone like me shows up and they're like, hey, do this, blah, blah, blah. And then the wife is like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? And these short-term plans, I guess they used to exist before, but they haven't been around very long since they went away. They went away and came back, and I think they went away because of all the Obamacare nonsense. But where was I? Oh yeah. So the spouse will be lost, and now I have a solution for them, which is freaking amazing because it's just more money. But there are a ton of people out there like that, and I don't know if most agents do the short-term stuff or not. Anyway, it's freaking, I don't know. It kind of blew my mind how easy it was. It was like a little scary how easy it was, honestly. So let's contrast that with a guy that I know. There's a guy that I know. I've known him for a long time. So he's my brother-in-law, actually. He's my sister's husband's brother. So this guy is a literal Chad. This guy is the Chad of Chads. His name is even Chad. So I don't think you get much more Chad than Chad. He's a stereotypical Chad. He's like Chad on steroids. The whole 9 yards. But he has been trying for a long time to make it. And he's made it. And it's really cool. And I'm really happy seeing that. And it's really exciting and awesome. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I was told what they're doing. So he has 2 partners, 3 of them total. And they sell pools. They created a pool company last year, I think. Yeah, last year. They built an office and everything, and now in year 2, they're just blowing it out of the water. They're like far exceeding their expectations, what they thought they were going to do in 2020. I think they've made $3 million total pure profit in this year. It's split 3 ways, of course, but I mean, it's pretty damn good, man. So that's that. This beats my ass, I'll tell you that. But again, when we take a step back and we look at what's going on, I'm seeing what's going on, and it looks like a disaster. It looks like a complete nightmare. So one of the partners is just the money guy, right? And another one of the partners is his son. And then the third one is Mr. Chad. So Mr. Moneyman obviously isn't really involved with the company. Chad is obviously on the sales side of things. And the guy's son is working sort of the office end of things. They have, I don't know how many employees, I think like 12 employees or something. And then they subcontract out building the pools and all that. But they're really struggling. And the people of authority, the people in charge, are having to put on 2,000 different hats and having to like devote their entire lives to it and all that crazy stuff. And it's great to make 3 million profit in a year, I'm sure, especially when you're entitled to 1/3 of it. But man, if you were to break it down and translate it hourly, I'm sure it would still be a lot. And I say it's still worth it, but I mean, I'm not the one in his shoes. Really stressful. They don't have enough subcontractors. Their employees are, either useless, no, I shouldn't say useless, but incompetent, or they move, or they quit, or whatever. And they're having a hard time filling people in the right spots. So, I don't know. I prefer my way, honestly. I mean, I guess you can call me lazy if you will, but I'll bust my ass. I'll go balls to the wall for I don't know, a little while, and then I'll just stop. Right? That's just the way I operate. I really can't just do it over and over and just be in that for more than like, I don't know, some period of time. I've done that before, and it's not worth it. Anyway, calculate what you're making in hours and try to find something and try to find a way to improve that as much as you can. If that means you're hiring someone or you're outsourcing work to someone, I say go for it, man. Even if it costs you whatever amount of money it costs you, your dollars per hour are going to skyrocket. And that, I would say, once you hit a certain level, that is what you should be focusing on, because you want to be the brains. You want to be the mastermind of whatever it is that you're doing in your life, right? You don't want to be swamped and unable to expand. Like, imagine that. Like, so that pool company, I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it's a good problem to have, right? You don't have enough workers. You're selling too many pools, and it's so if we envision it like a funnel, right? There's like tons of liquid pouring in the top, and then the spout at the bottom is like that big, like that big. It's just not letting enough water out. Yeah. Anyway, and they're having, because of these problems where you don't have enough workers. What winds up happening, especially in skilled labor, is that your workers start rushing, which means that they start making mistakes. And then you have to pay money to go fix those mistakes. So it costs you. There's an unseen cost that you wouldn't see otherwise, right? Unless you were fucking up. But anyway, translate your thing into dollars per hour. What else? Be smart. Learn how to make money. Just focus less on career. I think I've said this before, but I'll say it until I freaking die. I'll say it until I'm in the grave. Focus on how to make money and what to do with money and being good with money. If you can develop that, if you can learn how to, I mean, there's a million different things that you can do. But as an example, in real estate, there's something called a syndicate. And basically, if you're familiar with an REIT, which is a real estate investment trust, you're probably not. So an REIT is basically like just imagine that it's a stock that you buy and it pays you a big dividend. It's basically a stock in real estate, and they pay you dividends based on whatever you're holding. And it's usually like, 10% or 12% or something. For what I've seen anyways, I've never bought one. But then there's something that's sort of a step down from that. It's called the syndicate. I really gotta work on my hands with this damn camera, or I need to like step back or something and be able to have more hand motions. I've noticed that. But then I'm all far away and my hands look like they're like fucking huge or something. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it doesn't matter. do my hands and you guys can't see it. Enough video analysis. Damn it. What am I thinking? What was I saying? Got completely off track with that. You son of a bitch. Wait. It'll come. What the fuck was I saying? Oh well. Whatever. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll say it doesn't matter. Fuck it. I'll end the video there. Have a good night, gentlemen.